Uh, as you see, all I have is a mat, water bottle, towel for when I sweat, and that's about all you need for today. When we get into the core part, I'll be sure to break down a couple modifications because it's kind of the land of planks today, is what we're looking at. So, but before we get into that, I want to stretch us out. You know, we had a good plyo session, good total body and upper body, so we want to kind of get that all loose before we go into our core area. So what we're going to start with is we're going to start with just some downward dog. We'll do about 3 reps of downward dog, and then we'll kind of stretch our hamstrings through a downward dog before we go into some toe tap type stuff. So I'm going to come over to a high plank. My feet are about shoulder width apart, a little bit narrow. From your high plank, you're going to drive with the palms of your hands, and you're going to come up into a pike position, pushing with the palms of your hands. Try and get your hips up to the ceiling and driving your heels into the floor. Hold that for a couple of breaths, and then relax and come back to a high plank. Going back, downward dog. Good deep breaths. Coming forward, back to your high plank. Last one. Driving back. Still breathing through this. If you need to, you can walk your hands or your feet a little bit closer, make it a deeper stretch. Coming back down. Go ahead and relax real quick. And what we're going to do now is when you go up into that pike position, I'm going to say bend right leg, bend left leg, and you're just going to kind of bend your legs just a little bit. It doesn't need to be too extreme. And all you're trying to focus on is the leg that's bent is relaxing, the leg that's straight, it's going to be a little more of an intense stretch along that hamstring. Okay, so if it's too intense, just take some of the bend out of the opposite leg to take some of your body weight, and we'll go from there. We'll do 2 on each side, and then we'll motor into the next exercise. So coming back to my high plank, again, feet can be narrow or shoulder width apart. Pushing back, driving back with the palms of my hands, driving my hips up, settling into my downward dog. I'm going to go ahead and bend my right leg, driving my left heel into the floor. Straightening my right, bending my left, driving my right heel into the floor. Go ahead and straighten that left, come back. That's 1. We're only going to do 1 more rep, and then we'll keep moving on with our stretch. Driving back, palms. Push with the palms, drive those hips up. Bending my right, straightening my left. Drive that left heel into the ground. Straightening my right, bending my left. Driving that right heel into the ground. Straightening my left, coming forward to high plank, and go ahead and relax and take it easy. Grab a little drink of water, and we'll move on to the next exercise. Staying with our downward dogs, we're going to go to these little downward dog taps. And with the tap, your feet are going to be wider apart, and you're going to think the tap is my hand to my toe or my hand to my knee. All right? How it works, I'll demonstrate it real quick before we totally get into it. I'm going to take a wider stance on my high plank, giving me some stability. I'm going to drive back. So I'm just going to do a straight downward dog right now. This is what it looks like from there. Now when I do it with reps, I'm going to go back, try to touch my toe, come forward, left to right, right to left, okay? And what we're looking for is 5 repetitions on each side, or you're thinking 10 downward dogs, okay, to high planks. So 1, 2, if it's easier to count to 10, go for it, or do 1 and 1, kind of up to you. We'll do 2 sets, 5 on each side. I'm gonna start touching with my left hand to my right toe. We'll go 3, 2, 1, driving back, 1, forward, driving back, and there's 1. Driving back, 2, driving back, 2, driving back, 3, driving back, 3, driving back, 4, almost there, driving back, 4, last round, left to right, last rep, right to left, coming back and relax and take it easy. Nice job, good work. Again, if the hand doesn't want to go to the toe, you don't have to force it. You're still trying to get into that position where when you come back, the hips are still up, you're getting that downward dog. My hand can just touch here or touch my knee, wherever it's comfortable for you. Same on the other side, because you might find one side is more flexible than the other. So just be aware of that. And we'll go from there. So we got one more set, and then we'll keep moving on. So coming into my high plank, wide stance. Again, I'm gonna start left hand to right toe. We'll go 3, 2, 1, pushing back, 1, high plank, 2, high plank, 3, high plank, 4, high plank, 5, high plank, halfway there, 6, high plank, 7, high plank, 8, high plank, last round, 9, high plank, 10, high plank, and relax. Take it easy, grab a little bit of water. Nice work, good job. If you did the push-up series yesterday, this will probably feel pretty good. Stretch your shoulders out and get some blood flow in there. What we're gonna work into is an in-place bear crawl type exercise. This is more of core, a little bit of stretch. For the first one, and the exercises are the same idea as what we just did with downward dog with the toe taps. We're just doing 2 sets, 5 repetitions on each side. The first one is bear crawl taps. So easiest way to get into bear crawl position is I think my knees shoulder width apart, my toes in line with my knees, and you can kind of check that everything is in line. Once I'm here, all I'm thinking of doing is I'm gonna push with the palms and push with my toes and bring my knees off the deck, okay? And when I mean just bring your knees off the deck, you're not trying to go into a downward dog, you're just bringing your knees up. What you should feel is your hip flexors to the top of your abdominals and core area. That's what's gonna feel like getting engaged. Shoulders, of course, because we're still in, that quadruped position. And this is just gonna be simple taps, okay? So if my right arm goes forward, my left foot goes forward to touch. So I'm just gonna go touch, touch, touch. It's not a big movement. It's just touch, touch, touch. Okay? And again, we're only doing 5 reps on each side, 10 reps total per set, and only 2 sets. Woo! So, kind of exciting. Not a ton. So I'm gonna come to all fours. Ready, set, come up, and begin, starting with the right hand, left leg. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, and relax and take it easy. Just, again, an exercise like this, it's a way to just increase blood flow in our legs and our upper body, kind of flushing out a little bit of what we did this week before we do our lower body tomorrow. We'll get into a little more stretch later, but kind of get everything fired up. A bear crawl stance does a beautiful job getting the whole body working. So let's get ready. Let's do our second set. We'll go ready, set, come up, right arm, left leg, begin. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. And relax. Take it easy. And there's your bear crawl taps. Make sure you grab a drink of water throughout this workout. Work on hydration. Same with our bear crawls. Now it's going to be a little more intense. If you find you don't want the intense version, go back and do 2 more sets of the little bear crawl taps. Now these are bear crawl toe taps. Now what I'm going to do, instead of right arm, left leg going forward, my left leg's still going to go forward, but my right arm is going to try and touch the bottom of my shoe. So when I come up, I'll demonstrate first. You can hang out. Once I'm up, if I'm thinking right arm, left leg, touch. Left arm, right leg, touch. Touch, 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 touch. And this is another one where if you don't have the mobility, like sometimes my right hip just doesn't want to turn enough for me to get that shoe, I'll tap my shin or I'll tap my knee and just keep going with the reps. And after a time, I'll keep trying to touch the side of my shoe or the bottom of my shoe. Okay? So again, 2 sets of 5, and we'll move on from there. Coming down to all fours, we'll go ready, set, come up, right arm, left shoe, begin. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. And relax and take it easy. Again, this is one of those things, we're just trying to increase the blood flow. You know, we do a lot of work throughout the week. This is a good time just to increase the circulation, make sure the joints and muscles are feeling good. Couple of deep breaths, and we'll hit that second set. Coming down, all fours, getting ready. Set, coming up, starting right hand, left foot. Begin. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, and relax. There it is, your bear crawls. So if you've ever done bear crawls, you know, it's a tough, excruciating exercise. But this is a way, again, you can take a bear crawl, make it more stationary and more of a progression before you go and attack. Okay, I'm just gonna go bear crawl. Bear crawls across, forward or backwards for any kind of distance puts a lot more stress on the shoulder and hip joints. So sometimes you might want to start stationary before you progress into I'm going to crawl across or crawl backwards. Good place to start. So we're going to work into the world's greatest stretch. We did this a couple weeks ago, so I'm going to probably go a little bit quicker through it and kind of give you the finer points while we do it. It's going to start from a high plank, and you can either start this. I will go with this breakdown of the world's greatest stretch is you can either be on all fours where my hands and knees start it. If you want to make it a little more intense, you're going to go to a high plank. And the first part is I'm going to step up with my left leg and set into this lunge. If I need to reset a little bit, there's nothing wrong with that. This is a stretch. Now you'll notice my palms are still on the ground. I didn't come up to make this happen, and that's where starting from all fours. So if I'm here and I go forward on my right, this takes some of that intensity out. I have that knee down, and I have a little more balance here to where if I do need to get up on to my tips of my fingers to bring my right leg forward, I can do that. All right. From there, it's going to be the knee drives. You know, feel that out. Going to hamstring. A little more intense on the hamstring. Back down. Elbows and twist. Elbow to floor. Twist, hands to ceiling. And that's going to be our world's greatest stretch. What we're looking at doing is we're looking at doing 2 series on each side. And then after that, we'll break into core. So I'm going to start left leg forward. I'm going to go from a high plank on this round. Come in my high plank. And I'm going to go 3, 2, 1. Bringing my left foot forward. Just a nice deep lunge. Just sit into the lunge. Don't do a knee drive or anything. Just allow your hips to open. Putting my knee on the ground. Once my knee's on the ground, my back knee, my right knee is on the ground, then I'm going to knee drive forward. About the only time in a lunge I'll tell you to go forward with it, driving your knee past your toes. Once you get 3 to 4 reps of that, now we're going to go back to the hamstring. And what I'm thinking of is pushing myself back really, really slow. This can be very intense in the adductors or groin area along with the hamstrings. So this part, I go back like I'm going to sit back on my right foot, and I just go back as far as it's comfortable. Coming forward nice and slow. Going back. Leaving this whole foot on. You don't want to bring that heel up. You want to keep the foot flat on the floor. We'll get to the heel up here in a second. Coming forward, I'm in that lunge. I come up nice and upright, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my foot in front of me with my toe up at this point. Now notice I'm standing, or I'm in a very upright position. If I'm going to go forward to increase the intensity on this stretch in my glute and hamstring, I'm going to bend from my hips. I'm not going to slouch into this and try and hug my leg. I don't get a lot of stretch out of this. If I come forward with a flat back, like we do with bent over rows and such, you know, nice and flat, and I just come forward on that stretch. Then I release it, and you're only looking for like 3 slow pulses, and then we'll go back down into that lunge. You go where it's comfortable. You'll notice my front leg I don't have it locked out. I have a little bit of a bend in there. Once I get my 3 pulses, I'm gonna plant back on that leg and go back down into my lunge. Now what I'm gonna do is, since I'm on the left side, I'm gonna take my left elbow and I'm gonna try and touch my left ankle. After I try and touch my left ankle, I take my right hand and I plant and turn and reach for the sky. Then I come down, that's 1. Again, we're thinking doing this in groups of 3s. Breathing through the whole stretch. Last time. Now from this, that's the series on our left side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten my right leg, come back up into that lunge. Now I'm going to take my left leg and put it back so I'm in that high plank again. Sneak around, reset. If you need to come down for a second, you can. Getting stuff out of the way so don't kick it. Coming back to my high plank, going right leg forward. Now that we went through that whole left, go a little bit quicker now. Sitting into this right, my knee is still up. I will take enough time to get into this lunge. With those hips open up, left knee comes down, right knee, start with a knee drive. That's my second. There's my third. Now I'm going to slowly go back to sit back on my foot. But remember, this is really intense on this hamstring, so I'm going to be doing this slow. Slow and controlled pulse back to my knee drive, going for my second one. I'm trying to keep my palms down when I do this. You'll notice you might feel a stretch through the middle of your back, all the way into that glute on the right side. After that, that's my third one, so now I'm going to come up nice and tall, reposition. Hang out nice and tall. Right side tends to be a little tighter for me, so I'm not going to be able to get very far when I do my hip hinge. This is about as far as I want to go with balance and tightness on this side versus my left side. And you'll notice I'm not curling my body down. I'm just bending my hips from my hips just enough to where I can intensify that stretch. Let it go. And again, you're thinking 3 slows. 2, last one, here's the third. Once that's done, I'm coming back to this lunge, taking my hands, putting them back on the ground. Now that I'm on the right side, you can adjust a little bit if you need to. I'm thinking right elbow to ankle. Right hand to the sky. Coming back, right elbow to ankle. Going back, hand to the sky. Elbow, ankle. Hand to the sky, that's 3. Now we're just going to go, plant that right hand down, bring the left leg up, and go back into that high plank. From here, bringing my left leg forward, sitting into that lunge. You might notice it'll be a little easier the second time around. Couple breaths in that lunge. I drop my knee and I go into my knee drives. 2, 3. After that, I slowly go back. Hamstring, 1. Hamstring, 2. Hamstring for 3. Coming back to my lunge. I'm going to readjust, put my knee back on my mat. Coming forward. Nice and tall, only bending from the hips. Just come forward, just to intensify that stretch. Make sure we're not caving in and slouching. Stand nice and tall. Over time, that leg will start to let go, and we'll be able to get a little bit further. There's 1, 2, 3. From there, I'm bending, going back into this lunge. Palms down, left elbow to ankle. Left hand to sky. Left elbow to ankle. Left hand to sky. Last time, elbow to ankle, to the sky. Coming down, planting both hands, raising that right knee in the back. I'm getting ready, shifting my leg back for high plank. Here we go. Back to high plank, readjust. Bring that right leg forward. Get into that lunge and sit into it for 2 to 3 breaths. After that, I drop my left knee and I go into my knee drives. After my 3 knee drives again, going back nice and slow, hamstring, coming forward. Hamstring for the second, coming forward, hamstring for third, coming forward, stand nice and tall. I need to readjust, keep that knee on the mat, bring my leg, heel up, nice and tall, coming forward for 1. Going forward for my second one. And my third one. Coming back to the lunge. Palms down, right elbow to right ankle. Right hand to the sky. Right elbow to ankle. Turn up to the sky. Last one, elbow to ankle. And turn it up, hit the sky. And that rounds out our world's greatest stretch. I'm gonna put my palm down, raise my left leg. I'm still going back to that high plank. Reset, coming down to all fours. Relax, take it easy, nice job. 2 world greatest stretch series. Pretty nice. Really gets those hips going. So with that rounds out our stretch. Now we're gonna work into core. How it'll go with core is there's gonna be quite a bit of planks going on. And the planks can either be done from elbows or they can be done from a high plank. That's up to you, how you see fit. We're gonna be doing at least 2 sets and then a little bit of extra credit at the end. And we're gonna be going for about 20 to 30 seconds. Each exercise, again, this is gonna work as a circuit. We're gonna do 5 exercises in a row, take a break then, and then go again. And when you're switching exercise to exercise, you're thinking maybe 10 seconds in between, enough to take a couple of good deep breaths, get reset, focus, and get back after it. What we're gonna start with is a body saw. We've done these before, a couple weeks ago. We're gonna keep in that theme. So a body saw, all I'm thinking is I'm holding my plank here. Now I'm gonna come up onto my toes. Once I'm up onto my toes, I'm gonna use my elbows and I'm gonna push back. And you're like a saw, okay? Now, like I said, if you're really uncomfortable being on your elbows, you can do this from a high plank. It's just gonna be a little different because you're gonna put a little more intensity on the shoulder when you push forward onto your toes. You're still gonna have your hands over your shoulders when you start. So what happens is you set forward and come back, okay? Over time, the shoulder strength will get stronger and you'll be able to come down to your elbows. All right, so either way, again, we're heading to the stopwatch, 20 to 30 seconds approximately with the body saws. So let's go ahead and come down to our plank. We'll go 3, 2, 1, begin. And make those tiptoes, make them count. Give yourself enough time to come up onto your toes. We'll go 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good job, nice work. From there, we're gonna go into a plank, but you're gonna touch your hips. And how it works, sometimes you'll have to readjust your feet, but I'm gonna come over, touch, come over, touch. Now you'll notice I do need to readjust with my feet. When I touch my hips, you'll notice my toes kind of slide out, and I'll come back up onto my toes and switch, okay? You also don't have to touch. You can come over to where it's comfortable and you're like, ooh, I can feel that. That's as far as you have to go. You've activated those obliques. You stop there and go back to the other side, okay? So, coming down to our plank, go ahead and get ready, set, begin. Again, at your own pace. 10 seconds down. Still breathing. We'll go 3, 2, 1, and relax. Come to center. From there, we're going to be doing a plank side crawl. I'm going to switch to the orientation. Reason being, I'm going to use the O. If you have a mat at home, you can use the mat to kind of decide when to go back the other direction. How this works, get this outside. That does not belong in the O. I'm going to pick this side to start on, and I'm going to work my way across, and then I'm going to come back. Okay? And how these work, and these can be from a low plank or a high plank. I'll show you both real quick. If I'm on a low plank, my legs only go out as far as my elbow can. And then match up, side, 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 side. Now, if I'm doing this from a high plank, I'm going to be crossing my legs over, or crossing my hands over. My legs can still come together, so my legs go out, arms, they can cross if you go far enough, side, 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 and that's how you go from there. If you get ripping with them, you can cross your arms over. I do not go that fast, so difference of skill levels. Again, we'll go about 30 seconds. Coming down to our plank, we'll go 3, 2, 1, begin. If you're using your mat, you can just stay on your mat. Three, 2, 1, and relax. A couple deep breaths. Next exercise is a plank crawl. And again, either from a low plank or a high plank. If I'm doing this from a high plank, and I come back to this part of the O, how this works is it's a forward tiptoe, not a crawl, just tiptoes. And that's kind of how your arms work when you're going through. So if I come up to my high plank, when I start walking forward, I'm just using dorsiflexion of my ankle to dictate how far I'm gonna go. Okay? Now, I'm going to be going forward and back. I want to stay in camera and you can see what's going on. So I'm going to stick around this O. If you're at home and you're comfortable going forward, stick with forward. If you want to use your mat as a reference, go from the back of your mat to the other end and then back it up and go backwards. You can do it that way as well. For this set, I'm going to do it from a high plank. Next set, I'll do it from a low plank. Okay? So again, we're just thinking 20-30 seconds. We'll go ready. Head to your high plank, set, and begin. And remember, you're not looking for a huge movement. Just what your ankles will give you. Once you get to the end, then you just reverse. Small movement. Go 3, 2, 1, and relax. Nice work, good job. Beautiful. That's the plank part of it. Now the easy part is swimmers. And all it is, if you remember, we did Supermans back on last core. Now it's gonna be one arm and one leg, similar to the bear crawls, or bear crawl touch. So if I'm laying flat on the ground, if my right arm goes up, my left leg goes up. Okay? You can do them at this pace. This is an exercise where if you really tighten your core and want to take the intensity up, you can kind of just keep your body parts off the ground like you're swimming. Or you can be here and be definite on the squeeze. So 20 to 30 seconds. Let's come down to our bellies. Go ready, set, begin. Good steady pace, you're still breathing. In the good air, out the bad. Three, 2, 1, and relax. Take it easy, that's round 1. 1 down, 1 to go. We will have an extra credit round at the end. At this point, just let everything calm down a little bit. Making sure to get some water. Breathing rate comes down. Then you know it's about time that you can get going. That's going to be a little different for everybody. Sometimes if you need a little more rest, you know, if you're watching this or if you're on your own, just pause it and take a little more rest. Pick it up after a couple of minutes and go back into your next set. So I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna start with my body saws. We'll go 3, 2, 1, begin. Again, a good steady pace. Almost there, hang in there. 3, 2, 1, and relax real quick. Couple of deep breaths. Like I said, just about 10 seconds. Then we'll go into our hip rolls, little hip touches. Go ahead and get ready. We'll go 3, 2, 1, begin. I do have to reset my feet after each rep, because they like to slide out on me. Almost there. Three, 2, 1, and relax. Couple of deep breaths. Again, side crawl. Getting ready. Coming down. High plank or low plank. 3, 2, 1. Begin. Go 3, 2, 1, and relax. Couple of deep breaths. High plank or low plank for your forward and back crawl. Getting ready. 3, 2, 1, begin. Three, 2, 1, and relax. Couple of deep breaths. Just heading into swimmers. Coming down. We'll go 3, 2, 1, begin. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze those back shoulders. We'll go 3, 2, 1, and relax. Nice work. Good job. There's your 2 sets. I'm gonna hang around and do one more. If you want to join me, please do. If not, thank you for hanging for stretching core. I'm gonna sip a little bit of water, let my heart rate come down, and then I'll start that 3rd set. Just relaxing. Before we get into our next set, I almost forgot to tell you guys. So activities are gonna start next week on Monday. For the kids, it's optional. Kids that signed up that wanna come here and do some sports and activities, they're gonna be doing that. What that's gonna do is that's gonna push our program here to a later time, and that's gonna be 5:30 p.m. So that's when we're gonna be live. Please still come join us. It'll get you ready for dinner. Burn a few calories before we go get our eat on. But a little bit of a time change for a bit. So getting ready for our last set. Again, starting with body saw. I'm just gonna put my towel down. Find my elbows like this slide. Okay, we'll go 3, 2, 1, begin. Last set. Stay strong. Push yourselves. Last body saw of the day. Three, 2, 1. Knees down. A little bit of a break. Deep breaths. Go into our hip rolls. Come into our plank. We'll go 3, 2, 1, begin. 10 seconds down. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Coming up, deep breath. We got one side crawl, one forward, and a little set of swimmers. Okay? Side crawl coming up. Again, high plank or low plank. We'll go from there. I'm gonna go from high plank this time. 3, 2, 1, begin. Three, 2, 1, and relax. Couple of deep breaths. Third time's the charm, right? Getting ready. High plank or low plank. Going with our forward crawl. We'll go 3, 2, 1, and begin. Just the tippy toe. Three, 2, 1, and relax. Couple of good deep breaths. Swimmers. Last exercise. And then we put this one in the bank. Coming down, prone position. 3, 2, 1, begin. Almost there, finish strong. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Punch the clock. There it is, your Thursday workout. Nice job, everybody. Give yourselves a hand. Again, remember, Monday the 28th, we'll be starting at 5:30. Come back tomorrow at 4. Hang out. We're going to be doing some lower body and some shoulders. Thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or if you just want to say, hi, Jer, what's going on? You can reach me at coachwhalen@overlake.org. Take a picture of yourself, hashtag Jermey Strong, and throw it up on Twitter at Owls News. With that, we'll see you Friday.